What's going on, guys? It's Silverzero here. Just want to say welcome back to my channel. And today, instead of doing a standard card break, I'm actually announcing a giveaway. Now, I'm sure you all noticed lately, I've actually just hit the 100 subscriber milestone. And as a thank you for all your support, I will be giving away one of these. So this is the 2019-2020 Upper Deck Series 2 tin. I initially ordered this from the United States, so it's traveled from Florida all the way to Australia, and now it will be making its way to you. So by the time one of you receives this, it will be a very well-traveled tin. So I'm very excited to give this one away, and I really hope something good comes out of here. And if you happen to have a YouTube channel, I definitely want to see you post it there and show everyone what you got from here. And if you don't have one, I still want you to update me. Tell me what you get. Show me, which young guns come out of this one, because I'm very curious to see what you can pull from here. Now, this contest here will run until the end of April, and I will announce the winner on May the 1st. So good luck to everyone. And pretty much the basic requirements for this one here is, first of all, subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and comment down below using hashtag Silverzero100, and tell me about your favorite card. Doesn't have to be hockey, but I know most of you guys are hockey card collectors, but it doesn't actually have to be a hockey card. I just want to hear what your favorite card is. Tell me a little story, and I'll draw out the winner, okay? Now, just to celebrate this 100 subscriber landmark or milestone, I'll be going through some of the favorite cards in my collection as well. So it's more like a story time video this instead of my usual pack breaks. So for me, in terms of hockey card collecting, I don't necessarily go for things based on monetary value. There are certain players I like, and those are the certain players I tend to chase. I have a favorite team, and if you guys haven't figured it out, it is the Anaheim Ducks. I don't have any Ducks pop vinyl, so I'm looking for them. But yes, my favorite team is the Ducks, and yeah, so I do collect based on certain preferences. But the other important part of collecting hockey cards is the sentimental value behind them. And a lot of them might not be valuable cards, but they do have a nice little story to go with it. And it has a memory attached to it, and that's why, I like certain cards. So in this video, I will go through some of my favorite cards in my collection. And it's not gonna, and I set a little criteria for myself. I'm not gonna include cards that I've pulled once I've started the channel. So anything that I've pulled on video will not make it onto this list here. It's not a top 10, it's just a few random cards because I don't want this video to drag out for too long. So let's begin. The first card I will show off here is something that's a little bit older. It is a Wayne Gretzky card, and this was pulled from a cereal box. It's not worth all that much, and it's not kept in the best condition, but it is one of my favorite cards because it was sort of the first card that I was really chasing. Like as a kid, I really looked up to Wayne Gretzky. He's a really good, he's a fantastic player, and he was a lot of fun to watch. And yeah, I've always been a huge fan. And I remember when they announced it with all these cereals that you can collect hockey cards, I wanted to get this one. So I've got several boxes and, a whole bunch of different ones, and, managed to get like a Keith Tkachuk and Rob Blake, Ray Bourque, for example. So these are just, a brief sort of snippet of the cards that I was able to pull from them, and had to eat like a lot of Raisin Brans to get them. And the other thing is I never really liked Raisin Bran. I'm just not a fan. but I stuck through it because I wanted the hockey card. So yeah, this was I got this one. This was actually the last one out of all the cards that I've pulled from these cereal boxes. So it actually took many boxes of Raisin Bran and a few, I think, what's the other one called? It's kind of like Wheaties. I don't know what it was. I can't remember the name, but it took many boxes of cereal to get this one here. So I was extremely happy, and that's why it's so valuable to me, because I had to endure all these, breakfast cereals I didn't like just to get it. So that is the Wayne Gretzky card. The next card that I do want to showcase here is the ringside signings of Brady Tkachuk. Now, between, when I was a kid and up until last November, there was a huge gap in time where I actually didn't collect any cards at all. And after watching, it's really interesting. The thing that got me back into collecting was actually not hockey cards. It was actually Pokemon cards. It's not like I've been collecting Pokemon cards lately, but I was browsing through YouTube and came across Leonhardt and started watching his channel, and he started trying to pull all these Pokemon cards, and they're extremely rare Rainbow Charizard, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. I'm hooked, and I started watching that a lot, and one thing led to another, and then it led me to Hockey Channel or Hockey Card Breaks, and I started watching Top Corner Breaks, Zeri Gaming, and Great Day for Hockey Cards, and that's what really got me back into collecting, because I've been watching the videos and I got hooked, and I'm like, you know what, this brings back a lot of happy memories, and I want to give this a try again. So that's what got me into purchasing cards. And the first pack of cards, or first box that I purchased, was the Upper Deck Ice, and the first major pull from it was actually this card right here. So it is the ringside signings of Brady Tkachuk, and gotta love that it's acetate and it's see-through, and I love these cards. And yeah, I was actually really happy with this pull, because I wasn't expecting too much out of the Upper Deck Ice, and for after doing a few readings and everything like that, I'm like, you know what, I want to give this product a try, and this came out of the first box of hockey cards that I opened in November. So that sort of commemorates it, and that's why this one is special. All right. Next up is actually a basketball card. And this one here initially didn't really rank too high on my list, only because I actually didn't grow up being a Kobe fan. Now, I know everyone might be aware of the circumstances that led to his early passing. So this card here has suddenly pretty much skyrocketed in value, and I'm keeping it just because it's interesting. I mean, this actually came out of the first basketball hobby box that I opened since I started collecting again. So this actually happened back in November as well. And I opened up the hobby box, and NBA Hoops was pretty much the most, affordable basketball card product that I can aim for. And pulling one of these is extremely rare. And to my surprise, this actually came out of that hobby box. And this isn't a sticker auto. These are actually on-card signatures of Kobe Bryant and Zion Williamson. And in a way, this card is absolutely beautiful, because it's sort of like the passing of the torch from one legend to a potential future superstar. And Zion Williamson, prior to the season, suspending itself, was pretty much lighting it up, despite, being injured for a good portion of the of the season, and then he just came in and it just exploded. So lots of exciting things to watch out for, and I'm expecting many great things from this player here. So yeah, it's sort of it's a bit bittersweet, I have to say, given that Kobe is now gone, but the prospect of seeing Zion just, take over the NBA one day is actually quite exciting. So that's this one here. The next card that's actually, a bit more special to me is the gold etchings of Erik Carlson. I know, this came from a Tim Hortons set. Why is it so special to me? Well, this one's, it's mainly because I actually started getting Tim Hortons cards for the first time. So this is actually from the first pack of Tim Hortons cards that I opened. And this took place when I went back home that year to look after my father because he was diagnosed with cancer that year. And I actually haven't been back in Canada for about 7 years since I moved to Australia. And so I went home and just to mainly look after my father, taking him out to the hospital because he's doing radiation therapy every day, even when he needs to go for chemotherapy. So I had to accompany him on a day-to-day basis, and also to the doctor's appointments and all the various things that come along with it. And each day, I had to sit there and wait for him while he goes through radiation therapy. And I hop out to the Tim Hortons at the front of the Princess Margaret Hospital and, pick up a tea, like a cup of tea or a coffee. And at the time, they were promoting, the Tim Hortons set, the 2018-2019 Upper Deck Tim Hortons set. And I'm like, you know what? I miss collecting hockey cards. I'd give it a try. And one thing led to another. I started collecting a pack of cards with every drink that I purchased for that month. And yeah, it brought, a little bit of happiness, despite, the situation that, we were in. It was a bit of a stressful time for me and my family. So, this kind of gave me something to look forward to every day when I sat there and waited for my father. And, I just opened up a pack of cards. And, it's just something that sort of helped distract me a little bit. So that's why it's a little special. And, that's this one here. Next up is something I picked up as a kid, and as you can see, this is one of those motion cards. Reminds me of the good old days when Anaheim had both Paul Kariya and Teemu Selanne. Now this one's actually from the McDonald's set. This is like the Pinnacle hockey cards. I do miss these motion cards. I know they're not the best quality, they don't look the nicest, and it's always a bit blurry, but these are fun. I enjoy it a lot. And Paul Kariya is, as I said, my favorite player of all time. Just because as a person of Asian descent, I was always seeking, representation and someone to sort of identify with. And Paul was half Japanese and definitely something or someone that I looked up to. And he was pretty much lighting it up in Anaheim, and I really enjoyed watching him play. And the other interesting thing is, because he's a bit of a smaller player, and he's, you're what you call like a skilled forward, he's not one of those like big bruising type of players. And as a person of relatively smaller stature, I sort of found that a bit more relatable as well. And I really, enjoy watching him play and, really appreciate the skills and, the highlight reels that he presented. And yeah, this card is special to me because it actually came from the first pack I opened at the McDonald's when I picked up the cards. And I remember that day I went in, ordered like a Big Mac with fries and a drink. And, I didn't care too much about the meal. I just wanted the hockey cards that day. And I actually got this one here and I was so excited. And the thing that made this day quite memorable is, I don't know, something was in the food and I ended up throwing up all night after that. And at the end of the day, I didn't care because I just thought, you know what? I don't care if I felt sick. I got the card that I wanted all along. So, yeah, that was an interesting time, let's just say. So yeah, that's why I like this card so much. It's brought back good memories, Well, good and bad, really, but mostly good. And yeah, I wish he stayed in Anaheim, but it didn't happen, and he still had a very good career after that, despite the concussion issues. But yeah, one of my favorite hockey moments actually involves the Stanley Cup Finals when Paul Kariya got leveled by Scott Stevens. I was actually a little pissed off at that, but the most beautiful thing happened was he came back on the ice and scored the game winner after that. Unfortunately, because of the concussion, he actually doesn't remember any of that. So it's a little sad. And I know Paul is a very private person, but he ended up being a little bit bitter about hockey, given his injury troubles. And I'm glad that he's opening up a bit more recently and embracing the hockey world a bit more. So I do hope to see him make more appearances in the future. And lastly, my absolute favorite card or cards in my collection is these two right here. So you can actually see them. These are Jakob Silverberg. They're only your typical Upper Deck Series Series 2 hockey cards, but they're actually autographed. This one has a slightly nicer signature. This one's kind of bled a little bit, but yeah, they're very nice cards. And of course, it has a story to go with it. So I don't know. I never expected anything out of this one here. It was actually quite interesting. So you'd think I'd meet, people related to Jakob Silverberg if I went to somewhere like Sweden, because, that's where he's from. But just to give you an indication of how small this world is, I met his brother here in Australia. So that is the interesting story. So yeah, so there was a gentleman that I met, a few years ago, and we got talking, and I noticed that he had a surname Silverberg, and there's not many people that have it spelt like that. It's not a common spelling. And the first thing that popped into my mind, I was like, oh, there's no way he's related to Jakob, right? So during our conversation, he picked up that my accent, it's not, Australian, and I told him that I was from Canada. And then he got into telling me a story about how he used to go to Ottawa, and I'm thinking to myself, Ottawa? That's interesting. Not many people outside of Canada would be too familiar with Ottawa, despite the fact that it's the capital of the country. So, and then he talked about how he watched his brother play over there, and now he goes to Anaheim to watch his brother play. And that's when the alarm bells start ringing in my head, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, if you don't mind me asking, is your brother Jakob or Jakob Silverberg? And he's like, yeah, that's my brother. And I was like, mind blown. Like, I just couldn't believe it. Like, I met someone related to Jakob Silverberg in Australia. So, yeah, so then the word came out. I'm a huge Ducks fan, and I am a fan of Jakob Silverberg. He's a fantastic two-way forward with a very nice, offensive touch. And yeah, I was blown away. I was like, no way. I actually, this is just to show how small this world is. And not long after that, he actually came back with a little envelope with my name on it and brought me these. So yeah, so word got out that I was a Ducks fan, and yeah, he came back with these as a small little gift, and I still haven't had a chance to repay him. So yeah, that's how I actually ended up obtaining these cards, and that's why this is so special, because of the just the lucky encounter, let's just say, and the demonstration of how small this world can be. So yeah, this is the reason why I love hockey card collecting, because it's not just the cards itself. Sometimes it's the story and the little things that come along with it. I'm not the best storyteller, so I'm sorry if you guys are a little bit bored with this video. But yeah, I know this has run for a little while as well, so I think I'm gonna just end it now, and just want to say thank you guys for, sitting through this whole thing, and I appreciate your support. So definitely enter the giveaway for that tin right there, and I hope you did enjoy the stories. I'm not really good at fleshing out the details and everything like that, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. So follow me on Instagram at Silverzero Breaks, and I got more hockey breaks on the way. I think I got another video tomorrow, actually. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.